How do you write a bass line that's going to fill those Christmas party dance floors? The answer coming up.
But first, what day is it?
Day 18.
Day 18.
Yeah, today is day 18 of our Hack Music Theory Advent Calendar, where we're counting down the days to the release of our Christmas single and teaching you the music theory hacks we're using to write it. Kate and Ray Harmony here.
Welcome to the Hack Music Theory Revolution, where we drink a lot of tea and empower you with notation-free theory for making great music. Alright, let's jump in. We're in C Aeolian, aka C natural minor, and our chords are C minor, A flat major, F major, which is that non-diatonic chord, and then F minor, and then E flat major. So these root notes down here are muted, and they're just going to act as our template over which we're going to write our bass line. So we just want to select them all and copy and paste them an octave higher and then unmute them, and that's going to be our starting point. Now you'll notice I said starting point. Unfortunately, for so many songs in all the popular music genres, they think this is the finishing point. Alright, root notes does not make it the bass line, alright? It make it the starting line for the bass line. And yes, of course, the bass line does need to be centered around the root note of each chord, because the bass line is going to form the foundation on which everything else in the song is built. But think of it like this. Great bass lines can be measured in how creatively they deviate from the root note while still providing that root note support for everything on top. So here's our first hack for deviating from your root notes, and it's actually a double hack attack. So hack 1A is don't start at the beginning. Whenever people write melodies, they think they need to start on the left and go to the right. You can start wherever you want. So we're going to start in the middle, which brings us to hack 1B, anticipations. Anticipations are such a cool hack because you can actually change your notes. You can deviate from that root without actually really changing the contour of your bass line. Let me show you what I mean. So an anticipation is just when you go to the note you're going to just a bit early. So you're anticipating the note you're going to. And let's do that from the A flat here. We're just going to anticipate that F, and then the actual F major chord comes in here. And then we're going to do the same over here for the E flat major. And this time we'll just do a 16th. So we did an 8th note anticipation here and just a 16th note anticipation here. So have a quick listen to that. So
Hack 2 is to add a rhythmic motif. Because the bass and drums together form the rhythm section, the rhythm of your bass line is as important as the rhythm of your drum beat when it comes to getting people to dance.
exactly, and that's why at this stage of the process, we always like to take a moment to close our eyes, listen to our chord progression, and visualize people dancing. Do it. Close your eyes. Can you see them? Oh, there they are. Yeah, they're having a good old time. So as soon as we did that, we just started seeing this this dance move that was actually kind of quick, because it's like, you know, everything's really slow, and we were just seeing this people waving their fingers, you know, and we were like, yeah, we need something totally contrasting. We need 30-second notes. So we changed our grid to 30-second notes, and we started off by doing these anticipation notes over here. We sliced them up into 30-second notes, and again over here, and then we started getting to the finger pointing dance move.
As soon as we had our finger dance move, aka our rhythmic motif, we got to work repeating it throughout the bass line in a number of creative ways. This gives the bass line structure and makes it super catchy.
And before you get creative with all the repetitions of your rhythmic motif, just get it in everywhere you want. So go to town, because our next hack is going to solve all the repetition issues. So we decided we wanted it here, split it up there, and then we thought we'll have a little rest over here, and then we want it again over here, and then a little rest again, and we were like, we want one here, and then we're like, let's do them back to back. We want one here, and then that can stay, and then we're like, that's the end. Go to town, I really mean it.
Hack 3 is to create variation, because if you just keep repeating your rhythmic motif over and over again, people are going to get sick of it. So, there's 2 ways you can vary the rhythmic motif in a bass line. You can obviously vary the rhythm, but you can also vary the melody.
Yeah, and that's actually where we started with our variations. We started with the melodic variation because this one right here just sounds way too repetitive being on the same note, which is the root still. So we decided to go down to the 7 over that A flat major chord. And then we got stuck into the end over here, which is obviously way too repetitive. We started by throwing the root, the E flat, up an octave, and then we kind of did a mini version of this where we go from the 1 down to the 7. So we just went 1, 1, 1, and then the last note in our rhythmic motif, we just took it down to the 7. So you end up with this. And then, as you can hear, that was like a bit overwhelming, kind of going straight into this one, so we just deleted this one. And then we were like, well, that's way too much just having 3 notes in a row again, so we just joined the last 2, and we ended up with this. Oh, yeah. And then the next obvious section to vary was this crazy run of 30-second notes there, which was never going to stay like that. So we started off by taking the first 4 up an octave to the F up there, so we just got a root but an octave higher. But then we were like, okay, well that's also boring, so we thought like, why don't we do a little flat 7 up to the 1 and then down to the flat 7 again, so you get this. And then we're like, okay, that's a bit fast. Delete 1. So we're doing a rhythmic motif and a melodic motif together. Oh yeah, okay, but now once again, there's too much going straight into that, so we're like, let's delete that guy. And then we're like, 3, it's like that's all just a bit too much. So let's reuse the rhythmic motif from here, which is dum da dum, right? So we joined this one, and we ended up with this. So now everything is sounding amazing from here. So let me highlight. So all of this is done. It sounds awesome. So yeah, we really were not joking when we said, you don't have to start at the beginning. We've got everything done now other than our first chord, which brings us to the last hack.
Hack 4, the funky trio. No self-respecting, dancey bass line is complete without what we like to call the funky trio. The funky trio of notes consists of the 1, the flat 3, and the flat 7. And what better place for the funky trio than the root chord at the beginning of our progression?
Yeah, and we started by putting the grid back to 16th notes because we wanted to start with something a little slower and just super funky, and then we get to the finger move, right? So we put it back to 16th notes, and now we just cut it up and got a rhythm going. We didn't want to come in with a 16th note and then chop straight away. So we got an 8th note in the beginning, and then we chop the rest into 16ths, but we don't want just a bunch of 16th notes, so we deleted a couple to get a little bit of syncopation. And then we were like, now it's time to get the funky trio in. So we moved this guy up to the flat 3, and then we went all the way up to the octave of the 1, so that's the root, and then flat 7, and then back to the 1. So that's it, funky trio's in, we're done.
By the way, if you want more theory hacks for transforming average bass lines into amazing bass lines, then check out our songwriting and producing PDF. The link is below. There's only 3 days left till the big reveal of our Christmas single, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Also, if you missed any of the previous videos, check out our Christmas Counterpoint playlist.